Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. It's Bibi Cameron here, and today I will be making these cards, also sharing a couple of tips and techniques with you using some of the wonderful products I got from the new Simon Says stamp holiday release. It's just beautiful. I'm going to be using this stamp set called Stained Glass, and it has these beautiful fonts with those intricate details that looks like stained glass. So I really love this one. I think I might need to make more samples with that. This is a first approach to the stamp set, and I'm also going to be using these stencils. They are called Frozen Fractals. They come 4 in a package, and I love the delicate detail on those stencils. You can use them to emboss paper or to apply a wide variety of techniques. They measure about 4 inches or 10 centimeters width, so you can have an idea about the size of these stencils. And I'm going to be applying today a technique using Brusho pigment powders and these stencils. I could not resist to apply this technique when I saw the stencils. It was something I was looking forward for many months, and I finally have that opportunity. And I'm going to be using Canson watercolor paper, 300 grams, cold press. This paper is kind of smooth. It doesn't have so much texture as other watercolor papers. And I'm going to trim this sheet of watercolor paper in 4 so that I get 4 panels for 4 cards. And I'm going to bring my Brusho pigment powders. I have the box of 12. That's enough for me. You can mix the colors together to get new shades, and all you have to do is to mix them with water to get the most beautiful and vibrant colors. The blendability is amazing, and they are highly translucent. So that's a characteristic I really like about these powders. Today I'm going to be using purple, ultramarine, and turquoise. And I'm going to keep it very simple for you. Okay, I'm going to place my stencil like so on the watercolor paper. And the only thing I need to bear in mind, and it's really important, is the amount of water I'm going to spray on the paper. I cannot apply a lot of water or too little water. Also need to be extremely careful when removing the stencil, because the water easily can seep underneath the stencil and you won't be able to get that nice sharp image there. It's going to take a little bit of practice, and I also noticed that when using the heat tool in a low setting, or if you don't have a heat tool with different settings, you can use it far away from the paper, and the air is going to help to move very gently that water around the paper, so it's also going to fill those blank spaces with the watercolor wash. It will take a little bit of time drying the paper. Do it gently so the paper doesn't warp, and this is the result. The paper is not completely dry at the moment, but you can see the image perfectly revealed. Now I'm going to grab my stencil and I'm going to do something different. I'm just going to apply a lot of water on the stencil like so. I need to make sure that it's completely wet, and I'm going to stamp with the stencil like that. And I saw that there was some kind of drops in the edges of the stencil, so I just grabbed a piece of cardstock and I just did that to be able to absorb that extra water and get a better impression with the powders. So that's all I did for these backgrounds. You can use as many colors of powder as you want. And once you manage to identify what is the right amount of water to put on that paper, you will be able to create backgrounds in seconds. This is really easy and quick. And after making these 2 panels for my cards, I just stay here and apply powders like crazy on a bunch of pieces of cardstock and different papers, because I really wanted to see how those powders work on different materials. So definitely watercolor paper is the solution. There are different kinds of watercolor paper. Some paper has more texture, like this one here. This is their 300 grams cold press watercolor paper, and this one is the one I'm using today, which is Canson. It's really smooth. If you can see there a close-up of these papers, so the most texture the paper have it's more challenging to get a nice impression with the stencils. So that's what I recommend, to use Canson. So now I'm coming here with a piece of whisper white cardstock. I'm going to spray this with water like I did with the watercolor paper, and I'm going to sprinkle the pigment powders. What happened there? Nothing. So the paper you use in your projects is important, because the whisper white cardstock absorbs the water so quick, there is no time to react with the powders. Just, I don't know, I'm going to bin this. This is going to paper craft heaven. So now I'm using here a mixed media paper, and I quite like it, but I just found that the colors also go a little bit dull and different. So definitely I highly recommend to use the pigment powders with watercolor paper, 300 grams, cold press, and as smooth as possible. So I tried and tried and tried, and I made a bunch of panels, and I was experimenting different things. I even die cut those panels I didn't like because the color was all crazy, and I created this card. Just to give you an example of the things you can create with those panels as well, but the possibilities are endless. This is the die I used, and I also create those panels with the die cuts. And I know there are several videos to show you how to do that. I found a very easy way to do this. It's not time consuming as I thought. It takes about 4 minutes to finish a complete panel like that. So I'm going to show you that in a next video. And for now, I'm going to come back to the projects I want to share with you today, which are these two panels here. I die cut them using this beautiful stitch frame die by Honeybee. And all I have to do now is to finish my cards, and I'm going to stamp a beautiful sentiment. I'm going to hit emboss part of the sentiment, and the other one is just going to be stamped with Simon Says stamp black ink, because this ink is really black. I love it. So it's simply like that. You can see the sentiment despite the background is really busy. And I'm going to play some music so you can see how I finish these cards. I could leave my sentiment like that, but I want to add kind of a stained glass effect on the words. So what I'm going to do is I just grab some powders, and I'm going to mix them with water, and I'm going to apply it over the fonts, just like that. I'm also going to splatter the background using those colors, just like that, and also my water brush. I'm also going to grab this marker, and I'm going to splatter white ink on those backgrounds as well. I'm going to apply Nuvo Crystal drops and Nuvo Crystal glaze on the words, and I'm going to leave this to dry overnight. There are some air bubbles on the glaze, so what I'm doing with the picker is just trying to get rid of those bubbles so that my glaze is going to be nice and even tomorrow morning. So here I am the next morning, and this is completely dry. I can just touch the fonts like that, and this is completely dry. I can also bend the paper, and this is not cracking or anything. So all I have to do now is to mount these panels on a card base, and my debate about which is the best color for the card base starts. So I wanted to share this with you, as I do in some of my videos, because I place different kind of cardstocks or color cardstocks underneath the panels, and I really love the white. However, I ended up choosing the navy blue. I have applied glue already, and I like to place a large acrylic block on top of the panel so that this paper gets flat and neat and nice. And then I just trim these panels to the size, and I also glue them on top of a white card base. I like to get those pre-scored card bases, save me some time cutting paper, and all I do is just simply cut them to the size. In this case it's 4.5 inches by 6 inches, and I just glue my panels. I also feel that these cards need a little bit extra. Then I add this beautiful crystal sequins by Knit and Tangle, and you can also find this sequins and all the supplies I have used in this video with links to shop in the video description. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, you like this technique, and hopefully I inspire you to do something else, to try something different in your paper craft projects. Thank you very much for watching and happy crafting. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel or visit my blog for more ideas and inspiration. I'm also in Instagram, Pinterest, and I have a Facebook group to share creativity. All the links are also in the video description. Bye! Happy crafting!